do a little interview with a good friend of mine, who she's really taught me a lot about insurance. And insurance is such an important part of what I do because when I close every loan, whether it's a purchase or a refinance, we need new insurance. Okay. So being able to provide a strong referral, that really helps the whole home buyer process. And I'll tell you that since I've met Brittany, is that she's taught me some things. I've been in the mortgage business for over 30 years. And I like how she's opened my eyes to some programs and things that I was not aware of that, become a good thing for a homeowner. Okay. And I also want to highlight one other thing is I really endorse using a local agent. Don't go online for an insurance brokerage that's cheap. Okay. When you have a claim, it can make all the difference in the world. You've got a local agent that you have a relationship with. I went through a fire claim, and I know that the stress level and how it worked for me financially, it was a big difference having somebody I really knew and was there, and they really cared about me and getting me through that process because it's not easy. A major claim is not easy. All right, so Brittany Klepich is with American Family Insurance, and I want to ask her a couple questions today. All right. I think the most important consideration for everyone is how much coverage do they need? And then I want you to touch on the differences between replacement and actual cash value. So jump in, it's yours now, Brittany.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Greg. And I just want to say thank you. I really sincerely appreciate you allowing me to explain the differences in insurance and coverages. And this is an amazing opportunity for me. So thank you. I just try to help everyone out as best as I can. So, and replacement cost and actual cash value in a home is probably the most important consideration when you're looking at your home insurance policy, because replacement cost is going to cover 100% of the cost to rebuild or repair your home in the event of a claim. Actual cash value takes into account depreciation, which is determined based on the age of the home. So the older the home is, if you've got an actual cash value policy, the less the insurance carrier is going to pay out in the event of a claim.
All right. So yeah, that's a big, big difference. And so how does that work with inflation of building costs? We've been through a bunch of those. So again, how does that make a difference in what you should do insurance wise?
Absolutely. And in the last 2 years, I've seen about a 25% increase in inflation to rebuild a home if anything should happen, from the contractor's cost to the construction cost. So, which makes replacement cost actually more important, to just make sure that all of their repairs and expenses are covered if anything should happen.
Okay, so that's great. Again, really, really important because insurance really does work. Most people, if they have a major, claim on their house, we saw a lot of stuff with the ice storms. I personally have friends that have lost the whole house to a wildfire. That's a devastating loss. You lose a home, you still owe a mortgage payment. You got to be able to replace that house. How are you going to do that? So super important.
Yes, absolutely. And especially in the Pacific Northwest with trees falling on homes and roofs.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I had a client just did a major remodel, then that big ice storm a couple of years ago went right through his living room, start over. Yeah, it was awful.
Yes. And sometimes if you get a new roof, that's definitely something that you'll want to make sure to tell your insurance carrier. It can change the coverage from a replacement cost or actual cash value to replacement cost. And a lot of carriers apply a discount if you've replaced your roof.
Yep, I do. Because we have that's one of the things we brought up recently in the networking group we're both in is that, Jobin Roofing, you get a new roof on your house, let people know, get a new quote on your insurance, let your insurance agent know. Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. It's important.
Then the other topic I wanted to bring up is just about endorsements. There's a big range. I think Brittany mentioned to me, she's got potentially something like 12 different endorsements you could take, but so what do you think are most important endorsements, or what are some interesting ones that, somebody might want to consider?
Yeah, sure. So I think in Oregon, one of the most important endorsements and what's talked about a lot is earthquake coverage. There usually is a pretty high deductible, but in the event of an earthquake, it's maybe the difference between having your home rebuilt or not being able to even get any funds back to rebuild your home. It's a complete loss if there was an earthquake and something happened, if you don't have the appropriate coverage. So earthquake is super important, I feel like, especially in Oregon. And a lot of carriers have identity fraud and jewelry and service line coverage, sewer backup. These are all great coverages to look at when you're purchasing a home and getting homeowners insurance.
Yeah, I thought that the service line was a really interesting one, because if you got to redo a water line, a sewer line, those are expensive. Getting it back out to the street, you got to dig it up, you got to replace a line,
Yes.
especially for sellers. All of a sudden you've got your home on the market, inspection comes up, you've got clogged lines.
Mm-hmm.
You may have a $10,000-$20,000 bill you weren't expecting. So that kind of, endorsement can be huge.
And every home policy that I know of excludes service lines. So it's nice to have an additional endorsement that covers it. Mm-hmm.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I know we'll have some other discussions because there's a lot more to cover on insurance, but very, very good. And again, Brittany with American Family Insurance, great company, great person. I completely trust her.
Thank you so much, Greg. And my agency is located in Tualatin. I have 15 years of insurance experience, so I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.